Good morning and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. So today's book we're going to be taking a look, we're talking a little bit about Jim Butcher's White Knight. So this is another book of the Dresden Files, a book I have really been enjoying quite a bit. Unfortunately, this is the last Dresden Files book that I currently have on my shelf, but you can bet that over the next month or two I'll definitely be ordering some more Dresden Files because it has been just such a great and awesome and wonderful series. I am super enjoying it, and I'm sure that you will too, especially if you like this idea of this magical wizards and vampires and all that kind of stuff, all mixed into a modern day fantasy. So, of course, for those that don't know, Harry Dresden is the only practicing wizard in the entire city of Chicago. He is uh, just out there basically fighting magical crime. He's become this consultant for the city of Chicago Police Department. He's also what's known as a warden at this point in the series, which is basically the law enforcement arm of the magical world. Now, of course, the problem is that Harry Dresden does not like the wardens. He was conscripted into them. He's never trusted them. He's very much a anti-magical government type of person. He's always been at odds with the Wizards' White Council um, with respect to magical enforcement and laws and how they run things. And they've never really liked him either. But desperate times have called for desperate measures, and he's been conscripted or drafted into the Wardens because there's this ongoing war with the vampires and their different courts. You got the White Court and the Red Court and all this kind of stuff. And even sometimes the fairies are thrown into the mix just to screw things up a bit more. In White Knight, Harry Dresden is basically he's trying to figure out who is killing off magic users in Chicago, and it seems to be that specifically magic users who are women are being targeted and killed in the city of Chicago, often left with the message behind of suffer not a witch to live from the King James Version of the Bible. Now, this message is left through magical means, so not even the Chicago police can see this message, and it's specifically been left there knowing that Harry's going to get involved, and he sees this message. So all the while he's trying to investigate what's happening, what's going on, why are these people being killed. And he's also trying to manage his apprentice, who is Molly, uh, who is the daughter of a good friend of his. He had actually, remember from the previous book, he had saved her life, basically stopped the council from killing her because she had used magic and broke one of the laws of magic to which Molly was ignorant of. So he'd committed to take her on as an apprentice, and she's a stubborn apprentice. She is having a hard time listening to Harry and following directions. So he's trying to deal with that and protect her and keep her alive, because if she does not succeed as his apprentice, both her and Harry will be killed by the White Council, while at the same time trying to investigate and stop a bunch of murderous vampires from killing everybody. Because there's this war going on, and trying to end this deaths of magic users effectively being hunted down and killed. It's just this crazy mix-up. He's got things going on from every side. How Harry is still sane, I don't know. But one thing is kind of interesting is we start to see his friends and his characters start to look at him and start to maybe call him out a bit on what's going on. And because Harry seems to be getting um, more angry, seems to be behaving in ways that would suggest he's starting to have more anger issues. And part of that is his demonic possession. Maybe I should have mentioned this in previous reviews. I kind of forgot to bring it up, but essentially, if we go back a couple of books, Harry became semi-quasi possessed by this demon named Lucille. She is able to communicate with Harry, but she's trying to seduce him to allow her to take full possession of himself. But the struggle is getting harder and harder as we go along. He does not want to be possessed fully by Lucille, and he only did it because he had taken this coin of which she was trapped inside, this magical coin, to protect a child from picking it up and becoming deceased, or not deceased, possessed. And so he now has that partial possession, and he's buried this coin, and has been fighting off her seductions within his own mind. So basically, he's got like this multiple personality thing going on now, which is kind of cool. He's using her skills and her talents and her ability to do things while simultaneously trying to hold her off from total and complete possession of his mind, of his soul. So that's really kind of interesting aspect within this, in a sense, because he's using her powers. This demon Lucille, he is really trying to not let the power control him. And it's kind of an interesting dynamic. So at one point we kind of have a little bit of commentary in the story about how you could have just a lot of power, but if you're not smart, if you're not wise in the way you use that, if you don't use your intelligence behind that power, then ultimately that power will become your downfall. And that it's not always just about how much power you have, but rather it's also about your intelligence and using it wisely. And Harry is talking to Molly, his apprentice, about how he has defeated many times those who were significantly more powerful than him, but because he used his own intelligence, his own smarts, and his own wisdom, how he outsmarted them effectively in order to succeed and win and survive, while his opponents, despite being more powerful, did not. And that was their ultimate downfall. And so he's really trying to drill that idea home, that having lots of power doesn't help you if you don't know how to use that power effectively. And that's just a really interesting concept within this book, and I'm really enjoying that. And overall, really liking this series. The whole Dresden Files is just awesome. I am loving it, and if you like fantasy, sci-fi, I think you're going to like it a lot too. So those are just some of the thoughts that I have on The White Knight. So definitely pick it up and check it out, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. And links to all my social media profiles will be in the description below. And as always, stay tuned. Next up, we're going to have Terry Goodkind's Siege of Stone. So this goes back to the World of the Sword of Truth, the one book series that I think Terry Goodkind is actually good at, not his other stuff. So stay tuned. Siege of Stone will be coming up next. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have yourself a great day, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of Drew's Book Reviews.